Deciding where to stay when you visit Sydney can be daunting and feel a bit overwhelming. So in this video, we'll look at the best areas to stay around Sydney, including what to expect in terms of the vibe of the place, things to do nearby, how easy it is to get around, and budget considerations. So if you're coming to Sydney and you're interested in knowing where to stay, keep watching. Okay, if you're a tourist coming to Sydney, one of the best areas to stay in is Circular Quay and the Rocks area. The Rocks and Circular Quay are located in the northwest of the Sydney CBD area and are known for their iconic views of the Sydney Opera House and the Sydney Harbour Bridge, as well as their historic charm. In terms of vibes and demographics, this area is very popular amongst tourists, professionals, and locals. It has a sophisticated yet laid-back vibe with upscale dining options and cultural attractions. In terms of things to do and where to explore, there are a few tourist attractions that you may want to consider. Of course, the first one is the Sydney Opera House, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and then you might want to explore the Museum of Contemporary Art, the Rocks Markets, the Royal Botanic Gardens, and the Sydney Observatory. Everything is walking distance around that area, so I highly recommend walking around, going for a stroll, a nice walk, and enjoying the sunshine, and you're going to be by the water as well. Every time I'm there, I feel so happy. Such a beautiful place to be. Now, there are a few considerations when staying in this area. Accommodation here tends to be on the pricier side and it can get very crowded, especially during peak tourist seasons. For example, if you go during the summer and you want to spend New Year's Eve, this area is usually the main hub where everyone gathers, so you can expect very large crowds of people, so it gets a bit hectic. But at the same time, if you're able to stay around that area, you're going to have beautiful views of the Opera House and the fireworks, etc. So that's the trade-off, I guess. Now, in terms of getting around, Circular Quay is a major transportation hub with trains, buses, ferries, and taxis readily available. You are spoiled for options, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, how budget-friendly is it? Well, Circular Quay and the Rocks area tend to be a bit more expensive, as I said, when it comes to accommodation and dining options, but there are some mid-range options available. It's just a matter of going for a walk and exploring. My best advice is as well to use Google Maps and find whatever works for you in terms of your taste, your preferences, your budget. Maybe read the reviews and see what works best for you. So in conclusion, I think this area is ideal for those who want to be close to major tourist attractions and enjoy a kind of luxurious waterfront experience. The second best area to stay in Sydney when you're visiting is Darling Harbour. Darling Harbour is an area located in the city centre of Sydney and only a 10-minute walk from Town Hall Station. And it's known for its entertainment options, waterfront dining, and family-friendly attractions. So again, this is a very touristy area, but it's beautiful. So if you want to be close to the main tourist attractions, this is an amazing spot to be. Also, if you are coming to Sydney for work, this is a very popular area for people who are coming just for 1 or 2 days for business meetings or just staying there just for work. Now, the main tourist attractions around this area include the Sea Life Sydney Aquarium, Wildlife Sydney Zoo, Madame Tussauds, and the Chinese Garden of Friendship. There are a few considerations as well in terms of accommodation. For example, staying here can be expensive, especially if you're looking at waterfront views. It can also get very crowded on weekends and holidays. As you'll see, Darling Harbour is basically surrounded as well by bars and restaurants and cafes. In terms of getting around, Darling Harbour is easily accessible by light rail, ferry, bus, and foot. It's also within walking distance of the CBD. In terms of budget friendliness, accommodation again can be expensive, but you have a few options in terms of mid-range hotels and budget-friendly eateries in the area. So again, if you're a tourist or if you're just coming for work, I think this area is ideal, whether it is for families, for tourists looking for entertainment options, and again, those who want to be close to the CBD for whatever reason. Now, another good area to stay in, and this is one of the most popular ones, is Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach is a beachside suburb in Sydney's east, and it's known for its world-famous beach, surfing culture, and vibrant coastal lifestyle. So if you're a beach lover, Bondi Beach is a must visit. It's one of the most famous beaches in Australia, offering great surfing, sunbathing, and dining. In terms of vibes and demographics, it's slightly different to what you'll find in the CBD area. Bondi has a more laid-back beachy vibe with a mix of locals, tourists, surfers, and backpackers. It's lively and bustling, especially during the summer months. And yeah, it's packed with backpackers, especially people who are on the work and holiday visa. Usually they stay in Bondi Beach because at the end of the day, they moved to the other side of the world to be close to the beach and have that kind of beach lifestyle. So yeah, it's very, very popular amongst backpackers and tourists. And in terms of tourist attractions, you'll find, of course, Bondi Beach, the Bondi to Coogee Coastal Walk, the Bondi Icebergs Pool, and the Bondi Markets. I highly, highly recommend doing the Bondi to Coogee Walk. You're walking by the water and it's stunning. Now, a few considerations. Accommodation in Bondi can be expensive, especially during peak seasons, and parking can be pretty challenging. And the beach, because it's so popular, can get a bit crowded. So this is something you need to consider, especially parking. Now, in terms of getting around, Bondi is well served by buses, and there are plenty of taxis and rideshare options available. It's also a great area for walking, as I said. Now, in terms of budget friendliness, it's a bit of a mix. There are budget-friendly accommodation options available, especially further away from the beach, but if you want to live by the beach in Bondi, it's super, super expensive. And dining options vary, but they can be pricier, especially again if you go to restaurants that are close to the beach. Now, Bondi Beach is ideal for beach lovers, surfers, backpackers, and those who want a lively coastal experience. Now, another area that I highly recommend staying in, and this is what I did the first times that I went to Sydney, especially, for example, to spend the summer there and experience the New Year's Eve and all the amazing attractions Sydney has to offer, is this area called Surry Hills. Surry Hills is an inner east suburb of Sydney, and it's a very trendy neighborhood known for its hip cafes, boutique shops, and vibrant nightlife. It's also home to some excellent restaurants and bars, as well as beautiful Victorian terraces. In terms of vibes and demographics, Surry Hills has a hip, cosmopolitan vibe with a mix of young professionals, creatives, and students. It's very artsy, diverse, and offers plenty of cultural experiences. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful area, super close to the city, but at the same time, a bit further away from all the hustle and bustle. So yeah, beautiful area. And in terms of tourist attractions, it's walking distance, at least that's I used to walk again to the Sydney Opera House, etc. Lots of options because again, you're very, very close to everything. Now, some considerations when it comes to staying in Surry Hills. This area can be a bit noisy, especially on weekends, and some parts of this area have a gritty feel, and accommodation can be limited and pricey. So this is something you do need to consider. Accommodation can be very pricey around this area, but perhaps it's a matter of just doing a bit of research and finding competitive prices. Now, in terms of getting around, Surry Hills is very well connected by buses. It's within walking distance of the CBD. It's also bike-friendly with bike lanes and rental options available. Now, in terms of budget friendliness, again, accommodation options vary, but there are some budget-friendly hostels and guest houses if you don't mind staying in hostels. And dining options can range from affordable cafes to upscale restaurants. So again, this is a very trendy area, but at the same time a bit gentrified, so you'll find a bit of everything. In my opinion, I think Surry Hills is ideal for young travelers, foodies, and those who want to experience Sydney's nightlife and cultural scene. So it's mainly for young people if you want, but also for professionals, perhaps young professionals permanently living there. But again, it's a bit expensive, so you have to consider that. And another area in Sydney that you may want to consider if you're coming for a visit is Manly. Manly is a beachside suburb in the north of Sydney, and it's located just a short ferry ride from the CBD. And it's known for its beautiful beach, outdoor activities, and relaxed coastal lifestyle. I love going to Manly. Yeah, I'm a cliche, but I love it. I love it. It's beautiful, but yeah, a bit expensive. We're going to talk about that. But it's surrounded by the water. Lots of young people as well, lots of surfers. So in terms of vibes and demographics, you're going to find that Manly has a very laid-back beachy vibe with a mix of families, surfers, and tourists. It's very relaxed, friendly, and offers plenty of opportunities for outdoor activities. Some of the main tourist attractions is, of course, Manly Beach, North Head Sanctuary, Manly Sea Life Sanctuary, and the Corso. And something that I highly recommend doing is that if you're staying in the city and perhaps you don't want to stay in Manly specifically, you just can take the ferry to Manly. Even being on the ferry is beautiful. You have the wind, swim and you're by the water. You see all those beautiful, expensive houses around. So it's a lovely experience, even if you don't get to stay in Manly specifically. Now, a few considerations if you're planning to stay in this area. Accommodation near the beach can be expensive, especially during peak season. Again, if you go during the summer, you can expect to pay for a premium. And the ferry can get a bit crowded during peak times, and parking near the beach can be challenging. So yeah, parking again is a bit of a pain there. So if you are in the city and you take the ferry, that makes things much more easier. Now, in terms of getting around, Manly is accessible by ferry from Circular Quay as well as buses. And it's a great area for walking and cycling with scenic coastal paths. Now, is it budget friendly or not? Well, there are a few options available in terms of budget friendliness, but it does tend to be a bit more pricier, again, especially during the summer. So if you want budget friendly options but still staying in Manly, perhaps it's worth looking at hostels or hotels or even Airbnbs a bit further from the beach. And dining options can vary but can be pricey closer to the beach. And in my personal opinion, I think Manly is an amazing place to go. Again, if you're a tourist, it's a must visit. Beach lovers, families, and those who want to relax can still get away with easy access to other activities. Now, if you want to know more about what is it like to live, work, study, or travel around Australia, I have lots of videos in this channel for you to check out. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to keep supporting the channel so I can keep bringing more content for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.